Hi everyone. I'm finally back, as I always say. I think that should probably be my tagline for all of my videos. I know it's been a really long time, but once again, as I always say, life has been a little crazy. We're living with family right now while we're building a house. I've been sick a lot. I'm just getting over getting sick now, so a lot has been going on. So please bear with me. Um, I'm excited to be back. I am going to try really, really hard to do a bunch of videos in a row, get back to my weekly posting. The good news is I do have a few family members that will be in my upcoming videos, so I'm excited about that. So if you guys have any questions for a parent of a child with Tourette syndrome, next week's video is going to include my mother. So make sure you comment below those questions that you have for her and or me with her. And again, in a few weeks, my husband will be back for our second video together. So if you have any questions for him either, please don't hesitate to reach out and get those questions asked ahead of time so we can get ready and prepare and get that video out for you guys. Today's video is about, I went onto my Instagram and I did a poll about what people wanted to see my next video to be about, and so this was one of them. I'm going to be talking about who my role models and or inspirations are that also have Tourette syndrome. There's a lot of people out there that have Tourette syndrome that are incredibly inspiring and can be a role model to anybody, but two people that I look up to a lot are who most people know as Brad Cohen. His story, his movie, his life is incredibly inspirational to me. It inspires me every day to keep pushing past my bad days, good days, and everything in between. My second person that I'll be talking about is Samuel J. Comroe, who is a comedian. You might have recently seen him on America's Got Talent. I've been following him for years now. He is a very funny person. He is a genuinely good human being, and that is the second person that really inspires me. That really inspires me to go after what I want despite having Tourette syndrome and to let it fuel me. I want to talk about Brad Cohen first. I know a lot of you watching this that have Tourette syndrome know who he is. He was a kid growing up with Tourette syndrome before the people around him really knew what Tourette syndrome was. He had a lot of vocal tics and everything else, and he got kicked out of his classrooms and kicked out of places because people didn't understand it. And so he had to grow up figuring out who he was through all of that, and he himself became a teacher. There's a really awesome video. It's a Hallmark movie called Front of the Class, and it's about his life. I think it's a great film. It's incredibly inspirational for anybody with Tourette syndrome or without Tourette syndrome. He became such a role model and such a public figure, especially in the Tourette syndrome world, and what he did was just incredible. It's inspiring. You know, the storyline of it or the tagline of it is he became the teacher that he never had, and everything about that movie remotivates me every single time that I watch it. I use that movie when I first started dating my husband. Him and his family all watched it when it came on TV one night so that they could learn more about me and learn about what I have, and it meant a lot to me, and it opened up the floor for my husband and I have more of a discussion about Tourette syndrome and about how bad that it could get. And I used him as an example and told him, like, you know, it could get that bad for me sometimes, and I made sure that he knew that it could just be really hard for both of us sometimes. And I really suggest that movie. I suggest you looking into Brad Cohen himself and his story. He's a great guy, and he has a foundation right now that his funds go to help others with Tourette syndrome and Tourette syndrome research. So I highly recommend looking into him if you haven't already, those with and without Tourette syndrome. My second person is Samuel J. Comroe. He is the person that made these awesome shirts. It says, "I got 99 problems, but a twitch ain't one," which I don't know about you, but I really found to be really funny. I love my shirt, and I love him and his comedy. I found him a few years ago, like I said earlier, and the way he uses his comedy and his Tourette's to gear his comedy and just gear his life and direct his life in a more positive manner was just, it touched me because I felt like I was doing the same thing in a way. Not with comedy, but I let my Tourette syndrome be the fuel for me. I let it be the reason I'm strong and not the reason that something holds me back. If anything is going to hold me back in my life, I know darn well it's never going to be Tourette syndrome. I would never, ever let that happen, and I don't think he does either. And his jokes about Tourette syndrome, his jokes about everyday life are really, really funny. And if you have Tourette syndrome out there, give him a watch. You will connect and relate to all of his material so well. He's a genuinely awesome person. I had the honor of meeting him a few years back at one of his comedy shows, and he was just a really, really nice person. And um, his comedy, like I said, it'll reach you on a different level, and his story is really inspirational to me. And he found somebody that accepts his Tourette syndrome and accepts him for who he is as well, as I did too, as you all know from my video with my husband. And I just think what he's doing is really great, and I can't wait to see him kill it and get really big. And I'm excited to know that I've been watching him for a very long time now. So when he gets there, which I believe that he will be a really big deal. So like I said, those two people, very big inspirations to me. This was just a snippet of why they basically the bottom line of the story for why I look up to both of them is they don't let something like that and something like what we have control them or even be that big of a part of their lives to make it so they're not negative about it. And I really enjoy somebody that uses something that could really deter your life and could make you a very negative and mean person. They don't allow that to happen, and I really like that, and I think you guys will really love them too. So make sure you go ahead and check them out. You can also get some of these shirts from Samuel J. Comroe's website, so make sure to check those out too. And like I said, leave any comments or questions you may have for me and my mom to talk about next week, and any other comments or any other videos that you'd like to see. If there's other family members, friends, anybody, or any questions at all, sorry. If you have any questions at all about Tourette syndrome or about my life with Tourette syndrome, please feel free to comment them below and I'll get back to you or make a video about them as soon as I can. And please, please remember to help me out by spreading awareness about Tourette syndrome and education about Tourette syndrome by sharing these videos with all your family and friends. Thanks, guys.